All right, so you're looking for the right dog trainer in Arlington Heights. Well, you've come to the right place. We're going to cover everything you need to know to make a really confident choice for you and your dog.
Living in Arlington Heights means your dog has to be ready for all sorts of situations, from the busy sidewalks downtown to the quiet neighborhood parks. The whole point of training is to have a dog who can handle all of it, just calmly and confidently. This guide is all about helping you get there. Okay, before you even start Googling trainers, it's really helpful to know what separates a good trainer from a truly great one. And honestly, it boils down to two main things: their philosophy on training and the professional credentials they have to back it up. You're going to see this term positive reinforcement everywhere. And it's not just about being nice to your dog. It's a science-based method that actually builds a strong relationship based on trust. It also happens to be the best way to teach a dog to stay calm and focused on you even when you're in busy public spaces. Think of all these letters as a professional seal of approval. They tell you that a trainer has put in the work, they've invested in their education, passed some tough exams, and they've promised to stick to a code of ethics. You don't need to memorize the whole list, but just being able to recognize these is a huge shortcut to finding a truly qualified pro. Okay, so we know what to look for in a trainer. Now let's get into the different types of programs you'll find and what you should probably expect to budget for these services right here in the Arlington Heights area. Deciding between group classes and private lessons really just comes down to your dog and what your goals are. If you want to work on basic manners and maybe get some socialization in, group classes are fantastic. But if you have really specific issues at home, like barking at the mail carrier or jumping on guests, nothing is going to beat that one-on-one attention from private lessons. So let's talk money. Here's a quick look at the typical costs for 2025 in our area. This gives you a really solid baseline for budgeting. Of course, prices can change depending on a trainer's experience or your dog's specific needs, but this is a great starting point for what to expect here in and around Cook County. All right, so you found a few trainers online that look pretty promising. Now comes the really important part, interviewing them, to make sure they're the absolute right fit. Having a few key questions ready to go can make all the difference. Use this checklist as your guide for that conversation. Remember, you're not just hiring someone to do a job. You're finding a partner in your dog's education. Asking them how you're both going to measure progress is so important. It just makes sure you're on the same page about what success actually looks like. A well-trained dog is also a good neighbor, right? Part of being a responsible owner is knowing the local rules and knowing where the great spots are to go practice. So let's take a look at what you need to know for Arlington Heights. This is a simple one, but it's a big deal here in the village. A standard 6-foot leash is required on all public sidewalks and in parks. This is all about safety and control for everyone, so it's a good idea to just leave those retractable leashes at home when you're going for a neighborhood walk. And here are just a few other key requirements to have on your radar. That village dog license has to be renewed every year, and it's also good to know that excessive barking can actually become a formal issue. Oh, and notice that last one. Illinois doesn't license dog trainers. That's why verifying those professional certifications we talked about earlier is so valuable. So, where can you go to put all this training into practice? Well, the local dog park is perfect for working on things like off-leash recall in a safe fenced-in area. And for practicing real-world leash skills, you can't beat a walk through Busse Woods. You're going to encounter bikes, joggers, and other families. Perfect practice. When it's all said and done, it comes down to what you want your life with your dog to look like. Is it being able to enjoy a coffee downtown without your dog pulling and barking? Is it having friends over without them getting jumped on? Training is what makes that picture a reality. We wish you the very best in your search. A well-trained dog makes every trip downtown, every single walk in the park, and every interaction you have with friends and neighbors a more positive and enjoyable experience for everyone.